Hi there, this is Matt Wakeling from the Guitar Speak podcast, and you're listening to Australian Guitar News October 2017 edition. Now, the Australian Guitar News, it's just a break from our regular interview-based podcast where we just do a quick roundup of some of the fantastic things happening in guitar in Australia. All right, now the Sydney Guitar Festival has come and gone, but I haven't really reflected much on the stuff I got to see, which I'd love to do really quickly. I got to see Richie Kotzen at the factory, which was unbelievable. So inspiring. What a fantastic guitar player. And doing his first tour of Australia. Hope it's not his last. That was incredible. I also got to see Joe Robinson and Michael Fix and Adam Miller, the three of them, in performance at Leadbelly at Newtown, and that was incredibly good. That was so great. Really good sets by each of the three guitar players, and then they had a jam at the end, which was super cool. And got to meet the guys, which was really nice because they've been podcast guests on the Guitar Speak podcast. So, you know, a lot of these interviews happen over Skype or the phone. So it was nice to say good day face to face and put a face to the name. What else did I get to? Of course, there was the Acoustic Uprising Sydney premiere. Great film, and it went really well. I had such a good time. It was great working with Drew and the team there. That was really good fun. And before the film premiere, I actually I was just hanging around, and Adrian Layton, the festival director, said, "Hey, you want to check out the Paco conversation?" So I got to see Paco Pena and the Gregorian brothers doing a Q&A session, a lecture style session, which was so cool. I got to ask Paco a question. And that was kind of fun. That was great. I was in contact with the Sydney Guitar Festival director, Adrian Layton, in the last couple of weeks, and things are looking great for 2018. There's some really exciting things, which I can't tell you about, so I won't. Stay tuned for all that anyway. All right, what else is going on? Pat Keegan, my good friend from Ulladulla, New South Wales. I play a Pat Keegan custom guitar. Absolutely love it. Pat started making some baritones in conjunction with his, kind of standard scale length. So those baritones look super duper. And he's doing some really cool finishes, some paisleys and some other kind of cloth sort of based stuff. I don't know. Check it out. He's on Facebook and Instagram, Pat Keegan Guitars. Michael Dolce and Chris Kamzelas and James Norbert Ivanyi, three friends of the Guitar Speak podcast as well, teaming up for the Modern Guitarist Workshop on October the 28th at the Lewisham Hotel in Sydney. Now, these three guys, incredible guitar players, and they've each built fantastic careers as professional musicians in Australia. So definitely worth checking out what they have to say about playing, about working in the industry, crafting tones, all that stuff. It's a day-long clinic, which looks great, with lunch and refreshments provided. So check that out. I think you need to go to michaeldolcemusic.com to book tickets or to find out a little bit more about that. But it looks great, each of those guys. 100%. So three of them together, super, super cool. Some more Michael Dolce news. At the moment, Michael's done a couple of clinics for independent music, which are the Australian distributors of Axe Effects. Now, of course, Michael is an Axe Effects user, as are so many professional players in Australia and around the world these days. So I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 4th of October, and I think there's a clinic tonight in Brisbane, but there's some more dates coming up too. So follow, again, Michael Dolce or independent music for those dates. One last bit of Michael Dolce news. I was super excited to see Michael named as one of the artists performing at the Byron Bay Guitar Festival, which comes up in November 2017. By the way, there's not many more beautiful places to be in the world than Byron Bay in November. Just saying. But it's really cool to see Michael stepping out, doing some gigs under his own name. He told me about a year ago he was working towards building more of that. He's already got a great solo album, we all know. He's already super busy as a clinician and a sideman. He's on our TV set 6 months of the year. But to do his own gigs with his own stuff is fantastic, and much awaited, I would say, on behalf of the guitar-loving community of this country. All right, venue shout out. I want to say good day to Alan from Street Market Asian Tapas. Now, Alan, great guy, owns a restaurant, runs a restaurant in Crow's Nest, Sydney. And over probably the last 12 months, he started getting in some blues and soul and funk bands because he loves it. And but it's also turned into such a great venue. I was there a couple of weeks ago playing with Danny's son's Rhythm Review. That's such a fun gig. And but there's some really super cool people who've played there or are playing there. Simon Kinney Lewis is playing there this weekend. Fiona Boyes has been there. Pat Powell, Matt Finish did a gig there. Daryl Beaton's played there. Lots of really well-known names around Sydney and Australia. So, number one, I was honoured to play there. But yeah, just to shout out. And thanks, Alan, for supporting live music in Sydney. So if you're a Sydney-sider, check it out. It's a great gig. And, the food is unbelievably good as well. Okay. All right, we're going to finish up Australian guitar news with a quick roundup of some new guitar music happening in Australia. Number one, Steve Edmonds, super well known and loved guitar player, great singer too, and always puts on a fantastic gig. It's just come out with a new EP, Chakras, and it's so new, I haven't even got it yet, but I know it's out, so I'm excited about that. Stay tuned. Hopefully we can get Steve onto the podcast. He's had an amazing career, and that new album is bound to be fantastic. All right, Fab Manzini has a new album out called Time. I first met Fab in the early 90s playing gigs around Sydney, and he's such a great high-energy player. Here's a little bit of the title track. Finally for today, some music from a new band, Kaskeid, from Sydney, Australia, featuring Joey Sykes and Will Thackeray on guitars, Ethan Sykes on bass and vocals, James Timo on vocalizations, let's just call them, and Mitch Wilkinson on drums. Great band, and the new single sounds gigantic, and a killer solo from Joey as well. The band is Kaskeid. The song is called Where My Heart Belongs. That draws us to an end of Australian Guitar News October 2017 edition. Are you headbanging? I'm headbanging. I assume you're headbanging. That's so big. I love it. And thanks to Kaskeid and also to Fab Manzini for permission to showcase some of your new music. It's really cool. Thanks also to Electric Jim May for the music at the start of the show. Now remember, the Guitar Speak podcast, our usual weekly show, features in-depth interviews with guitar players from Australia and around the world, luthiers, gear builders. So check that out too. All right, I'm out of here. My name is Matt Wakeling. Thanks for joining me. Catch you next time. Bye now.